Hello everyone, and Canon Loa here, this time with World of Tanks. And Wargaming has decided, I'm guessing for... I'm not exactly sure what why they decided to do this, but over from the 29th of March till the 3rd of April, so it's kind of like an April Fool's event, except it's not? I don't know, but either way, they're allowing us to download and play an old version of World of Tanks, which is 0.7.0. And this was from 2011, so 8 years ago. And pretty much the tech trees that are in here are actually pretty much how they were when I started playing this game, way back then. And they even have tier 8, they have tier 8 artillery, they only have tier 9 tank destroyers and medium tanks, only tier 10 heavy tanks, and then they have the highest tier light tanks was tier 5, so there was the VK2801, the M24 Chaffee, the T50-2, and all that. And I was going to play a game and see how it feels to play this old version of World of Tanks again. And when I heard that they were doing this, I was actually super excited because honestly, I kind of liked how World of Tanks was in comparison to how it is now. I mean, I do like how many tech trees there are, how many nations and everything. It's just that there are definite aspects of the old versions of World of Tanks that I liked much more. Like, for an example, premium ammunition was gold only. And what that meant is that it wouldn't be spammed like it is now. Not everyone can access this because you have to pay real money in order to get it. Well, or in this case, they give you 900 gold for this, and I'm pretty sure the premium ammunition only costs 1 gold for every vehicle. But on the live server, or in the newest version, you can pay for credits for these, so everyone spams them on anything that has any meaningful armor, making that armor meaningless. And then the premium consumable is also for gold only, which I have noticed that, from what I can tell, a majority of people use this, and it kind of annoys me as well. But anyways, before I continue rambling on, let's kind of take a view of this and see kind of, before we get into battle here, like the old tech trees and whatnot. So they have, of course, dwindled down the amount of experience and credits you need, just so that in this short period of time that you can actually research everything and purchase any vehicle you want. So like 2 experience and all this, like if I use that 3000 free XP that they give you, I could probably get to probably tier 5 or 6. But what I wanted to do was play a battle in the MS1 with a 50% crew. I mean, I could switch it out for one of these crews and get like a 50% crew, but with all the crew skills. But when you started the game back then, everyone started with a 50% crew on all the tier 1s. You didn't have a 100% crew at the start. And, okay, I already know all that. So let's get straight into a battle. Wow, that was fast. I wasn't expecting it to be that fast. But these days, it just feels like unless you have a 100% crew, your tank is completely useless. And in some cases, especially for light tanks, it kind of feels like you need a 3 or 4 skill crew in order to be able to do anything. And in this version, there is only 3 skills: camouflage, repairs, and firefighting. You don't have recon, you don't have Sixth Sense, you don't have all these various things.
Time to roll out.
All these various things that I kind of feel in certain vehicles you're forced to get in order to make your tank even usable. And back then, it's just kind of like roll out and play. You don't have to worry about that. Oh man, the 50% crew. Oh, the old sound effect. Oh man, I really miss these old sound effects. Especially like the noise of the shell, like for some reason it just I don't know, I just like the sound of them better than the sounds that we have now. Well, aside from like the super high caliber guns. Those probably sound much better than they have before, but man, these are really dated graphics, I can tell you that.
Armor tracks is gone. We can't move. Track up. Let's go.
Not sure why that was, but alright. Come on, move MS1, you can do it! No! I can't even break it. No! See, this is what playing with a 50% crew feels like. Because everything about your tank is 25% worse as far as I'm aware compared to 100% crew. And there's team killing on the enemy team because reasons. Well, I think because it has the RU and NA stuff, I'm pretty sure that all servers are having access to this. All on one server instead of having them be separate. Kind of like the common tests. Yeah, it just feels like my gun won't even aim. I was even looking at some of the old, well, some of the tanks that are still in the game and like what their characteristics used to be like, and it kind of feels like every single high-tier vehicle had much better accuracy and aiming time for some reason. And I'm not sure if that's just because they account for having a 100% crew, and on the live server it has it doesn't account for like the 10 extra % you get from your commander. So I'm not sure what the deal is with that. But for an example, the E50 Tier 9 medium tank has 0.28 accuracy, and currently it has 0.3 on the live server, so that was kind of bizarre. And everything else had like 0.03 better accuracy and 0.4 better aiming time. It was just kind of weird. But this is kind of the thing. World of Tanks, it was so simple back then. You just roll out in your tank, destroy the enemy tanks if you could, and have fun. You don't have to. Back then you didn't have to worry about whether or not you had Sixth Sense, whether or not you had crew skills, whether or not you had a 60% win rate.
Our driver is dead. We can barely move. Vehicle destroyed.
no one's even shooting at him. Yeah, that was the thing about 50% crews. Just can't hit anything. And it seems that for some reason... Oh, here we go. Now I can spectate other people. And then also, you didn't have to worry about premium ammunition, really. You didn't... Not everyone used the premium food consumables, so they weren't 5% better automatically. And whatnot, so... There are definitely so much more things that I liked back then. I mean, one of my favorite tanks, tier 10s, when I got it was the mouse, because I felt like it was a vehicle that, if you angle, like, depending on your skill in the vehicle, with how well you were with angling, you could pretty much bounce anything. Well, since everyone uses premium ammunition on it, it just feels like no matter what, you only have a 50-50 chance of bouncing anything. So, I don't know. But for the rest of this, stay quiet, I think, and let the nostalgia take over with the sound effects and the music. So, with my abysmal performance, since I wasn't able to hit anything, I got, with the double, to 120 experience with just shy of 900 credits. 14 shots, 0 hit the target, yeah. But since the experience is so... you have... only takes 2 experience to research each module. This is going to be plenty to research everything. And elite status, woo! So yeah, that was the stock 50% crew MS1. And there are just so many things while I was looking at this that I noticed that were so different compared to the live server for like statistics of vehicles and whatnot. For an example, the IS-7 only goes 50, but the main thing that I was looking at was the view range of vehicles. Like for an example, the IS-7 has 460 view range. I think all of the tier 10 heavy tanks have 460, which the highest view range in the game currently is 420. So if the Rheinmetall Panzerkampfwagen had 460 view range, maybe it could actually do its job. as good as the wheeled vehicles. I don't know. But what is the most bizarre thing is that the special Tier 5 light tanks, the Chaffee has 460 meter view range, but at the same time it can also meet Tier 10s. They had way different matchmaking back then. The VK has 440, and then the T50-2 has 420. And also the T50-2 and the VK2801 can also go 72, which most light tanks don't go that fast. So just imagine you're playing any Tier 10 heavy or a Tier 9 medium tank and having 400, like the E75 has 460 view range. Like the E50 and the T54 I think has 460 as well, and then T54 has 450. Like, it's just mind blowing to me that it just, like, how do they have 460 view range? Even artillery has massive view range like this. Like, what? Since when could the T92 go 40? I don't remember that. And then, like, our artillery, I was looking at the Object 261, and I thought 0.37 accuracy. What? I think when Wargaming made the post, they were saying that artillery are less accurate than the current versions, and I was thinking about that. I was like, what? The 261 has like 0.6 accuracy or something. 0.66 accuracy. And then this is 0.37. So, think about that. This thing has better accuracy than an FV4005 Stage 2, and it can fire across the map and has 360 pen AP rounds. What? And it also has 460 meter view range and 50 km/h top speed. Well, it still has that, but just like, what? Nothing makes sense. And then stuff like the T95 155mm gun, 0.33 accuracy and 2.2 second aiming time. So, yeah, that I just wanted to go over some of the things I just thought were so bizarre and ridiculous, that just like, oh, well, this is how World of Tanks apparently used to be. Or, I remember the KV-1, the old KV-1S. I don't remember the IS Tier 7 having that good of a rate of fire, though. It sounds a bit much, but I mean, like, things were just so different back then. And honestly, I actually like it more. Or at least, I mean, obviously I haven't played the higher tiers yet in this, but it on paper anyway, it just feels like I would definitely really enjoy this. Because, like I said, you don't have to worry about having every crew skill that you can to make it so that for a light tank, for an example, you need Sixth Sense, you need situational awareness, you need recon, and arguably you need coded optics and a food consumable, and that's just to use your tank. That's not necessarily to actually be good at it. But on this, it's just like, you know, maybe you only need, like, you pretty much only need one skill for, like, what class you're doing. Like, for heavies, all repairs, and then you're good, and then and whatnot. So up to 500 meters. I didn't know the draw distance was 500 back then, but oh well. But it's just, it's really nice of Wargaming for allowing us to revisit World of Tanks, and I do plan on doing at least a few more videos on this game mode, just because it's because of the nostalgia factor especially, and this is what I remember going into and having fun with. Like, these days in World of Tanks, I'm like, well, they let's just say they come out with a new tech tree or a new nation, a new line, whatever, and then I compare it to like all the other tier 10s, and then see not necessarily if it's any good or not, but to see how different it is to what we have, and whether or not I think it's worth grinding. And then I grind it, and then I get the tier 10, and then I play it for like 20 battles, and then never play it again. And not necessarily having that much fun grinding out stuff like that. Especially with, I still don't really feel like armor is meaningful in World of Tanks currently. Since the premium ammunition, I still think that has way too much penetration increase over what it has. So yeah, I think this is where I'm gonna leave this video. So that was my first battle of nostalgia for old school World of Tanks, and some odd things that I noticed in comparison to how World of Tanks is now, and how relatively crazy I guess it was back then. So thank you very much for watching, and have a wonderful day.